Before we dive in, here's another show you can enjoy in the True Story FM family of entertainment podcasts. Hey there, true believers. Andy Nelson here from the Marvel Movie Minute podcast with the rest of the team.
Pete Wright, Kyle Olson,
Rob Cabasco,
and Matthew Fox.
This is the podcast where we dissect the Marvel Cinematic Universe 1 minute at a time, exploring every detail of this epic superhero franchise.
From the nods to the comics to the electrifying performances, we've had a blast diving into every aspect of the MCU. Right from the start, we're talking about them having to earn their wizards. And I think we've made a good argument that they do.
We have our favorite recurring bits, like 5 stars for Spar, because every character deserves their moment in the spotlight.
Ooh, Kyle, speaking of spotlights, did you know that the term advertisement actually comes from the Latin advertere, meaning to turn toward? That's exactly the kind of fascinating detail we love to uncover on the show.
But it's not all trivia and recurring bits. We also dive deep into the ethical dilemmas our heroes face. Loki alone provides enough material for a whole season on superhero morality. Not to mention that I can't wait till we get to Civil War.
In our season looking at Iron Man 3, we're going to mix things up a bit.
That's right, Rob and I are your guides, but instead of our usual minute-by-minute format, we dive into 5 minutes of the film in each weekly episode.
It's a totally new approach, but one that still allows us to explore all the depth and detail that makes these movies so special, even if Iron Man 3 isn't all that special.
Hold on, that's where you're wrong. Extremist, Shane Black.
Yeah, would you like to look at the Mandarin and Maya Hansen? Mm-hmm.
So whether you're a die-hard Marvel fan or just love deep dives into movies, there's something for everyone on Marvel Movie Minute.
Suit up and join us on this epic audio adventure. You can find us at truestory.fm or by searching Marvel Movie Minute on your favorite podcatcher.
Because in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, every minute is packed with excitement.
Enough said.
I hope you like mustard. Bye.
Do you ever get to the end of a movie where the hero had to make a difficult choice, and all you want to do is talk to people about whether they made the right one?
Watch an episode of Star Trek and spend the next few days thinking about the rights of synthetic beings like Data and the Doctor. I became a co-host of the Superhero Ethics podcast because I love those questions, and the people at Wendy's are tired of hearing me talk about them.
We're not a review podcast. We're more interested in questions the characters face and how different works approach similar questions. Sometimes we'll even go behind the camera, talking about how on-screen media gets made and how that affects what questions get asked, which ones don't, and who gets to ask them.
We hit a wide range of media: movies, TV shows, books, and video games.
You can find us under Superhero Ethics wherever you listen to podcasts or go to theethicalpanda.com. But you can also do far more. We love listener feedback and we'll happily talk about your questions or comments on air, and members get special bonus content.
Hashtag not sponsored by Wendy's.
Coming up on The Devil's Details, Faust gets jiggy with it. His 16th century definition of jiggy, which is to say, not jiggy at all. Good morning, Star, and welcome to another episode of The Devil's Details, a show where we dig up, decipher, dissect, and deconstruct the many forms of the devil. One of my names is Lester Ryan Clark.
And I sometimes go by Keenan Diaz.
And we're just two lost souls hitchhiking down the highway to hell. Yeah, folks, and we're back in it with Faust, and things are heating up, if you know what I mean.
He's about to get what he's been asking for.
Yeah, he's about to get, well, I was going to say he's about to get dragged into hell, but that's what oh, you meant heating up as in, okay, passion, right?
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
All right, I meant eternal damnation. Which, in some denominations, it's the same thing. Am I right? Everybody? No. Okay, but yeah, last time you'll remember we ended on that double date. We had Faust and Gretchen, and we had Mephisto and Martha. And we were following these 4 lovebirds. I almost said 2. We were following this pair of lovebirds as they were walking through this garden and chatting about the future.
And not about Martha's husband.
No. Which they had just come from court. She might, the ink on the death certificate is still wet. No, I'm not shaming. I'm not shaming her for that.
She's bewitched, yeah.
And also, he's been gone. Like, even if he's still alive, even if this is a whole farce that Mephisto and what's his name, Faust, have set up, right? This guy's he needs to get his priorities straight.
That's right.
All right, because now Martha's stepping out with what's an S devil name? Stepping out with Satan. Yeah, Lester. Wow, how about like the most obvious name? Jeez, stepping out with Satan. Yeah. But yeah, so we cut from there, and we sort of follow the younger lovebirds, Faust and Gretchen, into this kind of like secluded. I think it's her room, and they're about to bow wow. But who should show up but the nurse from Romeo and Juliet? Well, actually,
right.
It's Martha and Mephisto. And they're like, we have to go, Faust. It's your bedtime, right?
Right, you're almost 50.
Yeah. So he pulls them away, and our two unrequited lovebirds, they share a sigh of longing, and then the boys go.
Right. Parting is such sweet Satan.
Yeah, exactly, right. So next we get two pretty short scenes. The first is titled "Forest and Cave," and so Faust is out in the woods. So some time has jumped. I think he's. I think a lot of time has jumped actually. And we find that he has already left Gretchen high and dry. He said, "It's not you, it's me." No, he actually didn't say anything. He just ghosted her. And now he's out here really just, working on himself, getting in touch with nature. That's actually what he's doing. He's trying to get in touch with that nature spirit from before. Remember the one that called him lame? And he's sort of trying to be like, hey, look how much I've changed. I'm not lame anymore, right? But the earth spirit doesn't respond, and Faust is like, "Oh, that's maybe his phone is dead, or maybe he's busy, or and so he just keeps trying, and the messages go like they alternate, from like annoying to angry to desperate to angry to annoying, right?
Right. Maybe he can't reach me because I'm calling him, and he gets a busy signal because I'm on the phone."
And then it's just an hour of him just like staring at his phone, right? And then it just gets a little like, bzz, right? And he's like, and he picks it up. That's fucking Mephisto. It's a message. It's he's like, they got these little cheesy things. Do you want me to pick those up on the way? And it's like, Mephisto, get off! The Earth Spirit could be calling right now.
That's right. We have so many cheesy things. No, these are different, brah. These have lime powder on them.
Yeah. It's like Chipotle. I can never say that right. It's 2,000 years. I still can't say it. No. Yeah, but no. For some reason, he's talking to the Earth Spirit, and he's reflecting on his time with Mephisto and how different he is from the Earth Spirit. Which I don't know how you would know. You never really hung out with the Earth Spirit. But also like how potentially dangerous Mephisto is. It's like, I wasn't worthy of you, so I went with this other guy who was like all too happy to get with me, but I don't think he's good for me, basically.
Yeah, it's interesting. In this version of Faust, it's right. Correct me if I'm getting this wrong, but the contract is basically like if Mephisto can make him truly happy using his magic, then it's over. And so Faust is like lamenting that he never felt that with the Earth, but he knows it's possible. It seems right. He's like he's talking about the bliss here down here in the real world, and that's possible. So it's...
Earth Spirit, we were meant to be. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah, but as he's saying it's different from Marlowe's, because this one feels like, geez, if he can get over that, then he could be happy. He doesn't need Mephisto anymore. And then part of me is also worried, like, oh gosh, but if he is happy, then does Mephisto get to be like, that's me, that was me. You take your soul, you got happy. Yeah. And we're going to see that a little bit in these scenes, whether he's kind of on the verge of being happy with the Earth or acknowledging that it could happen, or kind of being happy and acknowledging that it could happen with Gretchen.
Right. Yeah. Do you think on some level he's purposely avoiding happiness now? Because he's figured out like if I do become happy, then it's it's down to hell with me.
Right. Yeah. 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 That's really interesting. we always sabotage ourselves.
Right. Yeah, we do.
Right. Like when Jack Nicholson goes in to see his doctor, and the doctor won't see him, and he comes out and he talks to the waiting room. He's like, maybe this is as good as it gets, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe like me just knowing that happiness exists somewhere over there is as happy as I'll ever be.
Yep.
Sad.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then he walks out, and he goes out to his car, but he realizes he left his wallet back in the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes back in there, and the nurse is like, "Oh, hey," and Jack Nicholson says, "Yes, I'm still here." And he grabs his wallet, and then he leaves. But like on the way, he spies one of those like periodicals in the on the little end table, and on the front of it just says Mars attacks. He's like, oh no, this is terrible news.
Yeah,
this is,
and everyone's still going about their day. That's really interesting.
Yeah, right. But he gets back to his car, and he doesn't have one of the little like beeper keys. He has the regular key, but it's a really, really old car, and the door won't open, right? But he keeps trying because something's got to give, And finally he gets it open, and and he says out loud to the empty parking lot, "Well, it's about Schmidt."
Perfect.
There we go. I'm done. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
So
Faust.
Are they gonna do something about those Martians or no?
I mean,
you just going to work like normal.
That's a job for. I mean, well, you know what? He did take the pledge to defend Earth.
That's right.
But he never thought he would have to. He never thought this day would come.
Right. It was on his bucket list.
Yeah, and so many other things before that. Right. And now he's a little bit angry. No, I'm just gonna leave it there, folks. I'm not even gonna say anger management.
I'm glad I didn't say it.
Yeah, right. Batman. Yeah.
I'm sorry, we were talking about as good as it gets.
That was 10. Right. So is Faust like actively avoiding happiness now?
Right.
Right. I'll say that maybe a little bit later. I feel like this is too early in the game. I want him to be like desperately searching for happiness and unable to get it. Like he thinks that using this girl is the thing that's going to make him happy. But
right.
Also, I mean, he's said this before, but the reason he's so fixated on the Earth Spirit, the reason he chose the Earth Spirit in the first place was he's like, I'm a child of Earth, right? Like I'm an ancestor of Adam. I've come from the dust, so I'm like I have a kinship with you, more than Mephistopheles. But it seems like Mephistopheles is more human than this Earth Spirit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, you could see Mephistopheles. You could have a conversation with Mephistopheles.
Yeah. Mephistopheles, puts his pants on one leg at a time. Earth Spirit doesn't even have pants.
Right.
Yeah. But Faust also reflects on how he's sort of like dependent on Mephisto now.
Right.
He's tasted this life that he's never had before, and he can't go back. But he also reflects on how the one who is guiding him through this life is constantly ruining it by like calling the moment out for what it is, basically. Speaking of which, this is when Mephisto shows up. In the radio play, he is out of breath. This is Toby Jones, and it's like Faust is like sitting at the top of a hill or something, and Mephisto had to walk up it to to tease him. And he's like, "Whew, boy, it sure has been fun out here in nature. Yeah, just fresh air and trees and cute little mosquitoes. No, it's great. All alone on the top of this hill. It's not like you're avoiding anything. You just want to commune with the animals. I get it."
I think the mosquitoes would be on the devil's side, right?
I think so too. Yeah, but I also like the idea that even though they're on his side, like, he's still having to like swat them all off,
Right. Oh, but they love it. They're like a Chernobog, little creatures. They're like,
yes, that's exactly.
Please, Satan.
Yeah.
Squish me, I explode in blood.
step on me. Like in the sexual way. I mean, like, that's the joke. Buzz. Yeah. But then Mephisto starts talking about Gretchen. Of course he does. And that's why he's here, right? He's telling Faust how, like, she's back at her little house all alone, wondering where he's gone. And this is what triggers Faust because, that is why he's out here, right? I mean, he's a scholar. He hates nature.
Yeah, that's me. I hate nature.
Yeah, we're both teachers. We're like, camping? No.
No.
Let me read Lord of the Rings.
Early on in my teaching career, my first semester teaching, I was foolish enough. I was young. I was 23 or so.
Young, you were reckless. You were...
yeah, and I let the students convince me, like, it's so beautiful outside. We should go have class outside today. And we took it was a screenwriting workshop, and so we took our screenplays out there, and we're trying to read over all the noise of just the college quad and and the wind blowing our pages everywhere and like getting dust on us. It was the worst.
And that wasn't even like a mountain retreat or anything.
No, we were just outside of the classroom.
Oh, what we've become, Keenan. It's like, Yeah, but Faust tells Mephisto that he's got cold feet. He can't go through with it. He loves Gretchen, but he just can't commit to her. And so Mephisto's like, great, so let's get out of here. But Faust is like, no, you don't understand. I can't marry her, but I still have to have her. My cursed big brain and my superior alpha passion demands that I have her, but I know it's just going to destroy her. I'm like, I'm like a raging waterfall, and she's like this little house on the side of the cliff, and waterfalls will be waterfalls, and you can't blame the waterfall for destroying that house. I'm not even joking. Like I wish I was. Like he actually is talking about like how tragic it is to be like passionate and wanting to destroy this girl. Like tragic for him. Right.
You don't blame the waterfall, you blame the house.
Yeah, right. And I keep on thinking of Judge Claude Frollo in this. Like, he like Peter Binsfeld like made me think of him back in our Seven Princes. But like now Faust is kind of acting like him, like the way he's like talking about like, oh, it's Esmeralda's fault that I'm this horny, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I only know the Disney version of it.
Yeah. Like the irony is that he is the archdeacon. He's the he's the the face and the head of the church, right? And he's having all these thoughts and everything. Yeah. But yeah. Meanwhile,
but then blaming her for it, right? Like,
blaming her for it, right?
Yeah. Not
blaming
that, it's my fault that I'm weak or I'm a human being, right? It's not that, or that I'm a weak a deacon. It's that there's something crazy about her. She's ethnic.
Yeah,
look at her.
She's ethnic, and that means that she is in league with Satan.
Right.
And I love that, it's like part of the song, like he made the devil, it's like God made the devil so much stronger than a man, right? Yeah. Yeah, and then you like contrast it with we're gonna get like a little bit of Gretchen and Esmeralda a little bit later.
Okay. I
got some vibes of that. Yeah. But yeah, so right. Yeah. Speaking of which, right, we get this little peek into how Gretchen is doing, and she's sitting at her spinning wheel, and she's singing this song about how when her love is far away, talking about Faust, the world for her is dark and gray, and so even though Faust hasn't physically done anything to her yet, he has forever changed her. All she thinks about is him now and his, quote unquote, noble frame and his smile. And she thinks that when he kisses her, she could melt, right? Is one translation, but in another one, it's die, which is a little bit more thematic. Yeah.
So we know that they haven't been, not say no more. They haven't done that.
According to one of my sources, I don't think they have done anything yet.
Okay.
Yeah. They could be wrong, and I could be wrong, but I think like this is when it happens. Like he might be out here. So okay, one of two things has happened.
Right.
He's gotten with her, and he's like skedaddled. Right.
He's skibbidied, yeah.
Yeah, and he's out here in nature, just talking about how tragic it is being, him.
Right.
Or
and with that one, then she is like, he loved me. He made this physical commitment. He's changed me because that's how they think of virginity back then, right? Like, like I'm a woman now, etc. And she's pining for him because they have done the
deed.
Done the deed, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one version.
Or he's out here because he doesn't want to go through with it because he knows that once he does, that'll be like he'll be going down a path of evil.
Right. Okay.
Because he knows for sure that he's not going to marry her. And
okay,
so
I see. Mm-hmm.
So he's out here. He's like, I can't go back to her because I know it's not going to be forever, and I'm just going to use this girl. So that's actually maybe like the more like it's. I mean, it's still shitty, but it's like you can see that he's like out here trying to avoid. Like he's staying as far away from Gretchen as possible.
Yeah, and then in that version of it, if they haven't, you know,
I don't know why we're so, like 2 40-year-old people are being so coy about, you know.
Do you mean coitus?
Yes. The thing that makes babies.
They did it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they haven't. Then yeah, she is like still thinking about this relationship in like the love, like not lust, like not the bodily, like oh, looking at him on the street and being discovered by him and being like this object of, she knows lust as well, like I'm the object of his lust and the object of his love, and that's just how men are, and I am so excited by that, and I'm waiting for him to come back, and even if he's treated me badly and ghosted me, right, to go hang out with his ghost pal, right,
like his literal ghost pal,
right, then it's then I'm still there with him because he's changed me so much without being all up on me.
So there you go, folks. So we got 2 contrasting scenes, right? We got 2 versions of infatuation, right? And we got like Faust's decision ultimately to take Gretchen down with him, right? Because that's the end of this is, you know, like Mephistopheles is teasing him a little bit and he's like, fine, I'll go back and I'll wreck this girl's life.
Right.
So next we get another jump in time. It appears that Faust and Gretchen have been together for a while now, and Gretchen is questioning Faust about his faith.
Yeah, so we start on Easter, which can be variable, but it's probably in March, and then we're about to work up to Walpurgisnacht, which is usually the April 30th into May 1st, the evening.
Right. Yeah. So in between that time, right, she's asking him like what his faith is, right? She says she can tell he's good. She can tell he's a good, kind, honest man. But he's never like intimated what his faith is exactly. Right. And here Faust dodges the question in the most scholarly but also like mansplainy way. He's like, well, what is God really? I mean, you say God. What is that? I mean, it's just too big, too all-encompassing to really put into words. So must we use labels like Christian and faith and fidelity? All right. I mean, come on. Let's not get weighted down by these words. And Gretchen's like, oh, okay, but you know, at least can you please stop hanging out with that creepy guy? She's talking about Mephisto. She's like, I feel bad for judging him. If I'm wrong, I'm a terrible person. Right. But like, I feel like there's something evil about him. I can't explain it, but like when he's near, I feel like the fires of hell closing in on me. I can't even pray when he's around.
Right. He smells like something like pitchy, something sulfurous.
Right. And he doesn't put the shopping cart away. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Like, and we were in the elevator the other day, and you know, he kept on pressing the close button
when people were coming.
Yeah, like specifically, he was like he was holding the open button until somebody walked by and was like, "Hold the door," and then he just jams the close button. Yeah, but yeah, but no, like this is the first time we hear his first name, Heinrich Faust, right?
Yeah.
She calls him Heinrich in this scene, and I think we mentioned it in a previous episode, like how weird that was. But somebody actually pointed out that name might be a new one to the Faust legend because Faust is lying to her.
Yeah,
I never thought about that.
That could be true, right?
Because you had Johann Georg Faust, and then you had John Faustus, and now you have Heinrich, and it's not even an iteration of John at all, right?
Yeah. I don't think we hear him calling himself Faust to her or anything like that, or right? Like, oh, this is I was a doctor at the university or any of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But she does know where he lives because she's complaining about Mephisto as his roommate.
Right.
She's like, not only do you hang out, but you live with that guy, and he's so weird. Like, that's odd.
Yeah. So we know where he is. So she knows where he lives, but maybe he hasn't said anything about his old life.
Right. And I went into your back room and there were just a bunch of like latex masks, and I thought that's okay. You study or whatever, the little heads, but
Sure.
then there's like a white curly wig and like false teeth and glasses and
Mm-hmm.
and like, are you a British nanny?
And she leaned, and this is like their big date. They're at they're at this place called Bridges, right?
Right.
And she leans in and she says, "Faust,
Mm-hmm.
are you wearing women's lipstick?" And he goes, yeah. And he's gonna explain, it's for it's for the students, right? He's reenacting Helen of Troy, and
That's right.
and he's got to be all the parts, and
It's funny in Shakespeare's time, which is also our current time. Yeah, men were played all the women's parts.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I just wow.
Yeah, stick with me, chick. You learn a lot from Uncle Heinrich.
Right. Takes a sip of water and his teeth fall out. Right? Even though he has teeth under his teeth, I just like why? Why? You making Mephistopheles is in the kitchen,
Right.
impersonating a cook. He's like, you're making this harder than it needs to be.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to check that box. We did our Mrs. Doubtfire joke.
Right. That's what the people want. They expect it from us.
Yes, we know this. Lying to. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So that name might be a lie, Heinrich.
Can you imagine making love to a Heinrich?
I was going to say, like, a Johann.
Sure, of course.
That's young and supple, right?
Right.
And a John, that's a kingly name.
Right, strong.
Mm-hmm. Heinrich.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you say it like that. Heinrich.
With contempt?
It sounds like he breathes like this. Heinrich. Yeah. Yeah. Faust, if that is an alias, I don't know. You could have picked something else.
Right.
Dick. I mean, It's right there.
Right. Dick Steele.
Yeah.
Max Jiggy with it.
There you go. Right. Oh, is that are you a foreigner? Oh, yes. It's from East Las Vegas Stanley. East Las Vegas Stanley. Yes. Yeah. Specifically East. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so then it's time to go, but Gretchen doesn't want to leave, right? She says she wishes they could spend the night together, but she lives with her mom and she would overhear them. So maybe this is the night. Mm-hmm. So maybe they haven't done anything yet.
Oh, okay.
So this because she lives with her mom, so they can't unless she goes to his place.
Yeah, they go to his place, but then that guy's always there, right?
Right. But no, but Faust says, "Fear not, I have a flask," right? And she's like, "Well, yeah, but we can't do anything because my mom." Oh, a flask, right? Okay, that joke didn't work. Okay,
no, I get it.
Okay.
I think. Wait. Explain it to me.
Because flask is like a penis. Never mind.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't because it's not. That's why. It doesn't work because it's not like a penis.
It's like a vagina, if anything.
Yeah. So I'm cutting all of that out. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, Faust says, "Fear not, I have a flask," and he takes out a flask, which he apparently had the whole time.
Right.
Like for this, on his person.
Right.
Like for this purpose. So like he knew this was going to happen, and basically he explains like that it's a sleeping potion. He tells Gretchen to put it in her mother's tea, and then he'll be able to slip in, and they can have a sexy fun time. And Gretchen asks, like, "Will this hurt my mom?" And Faust, like, he laughs and he's like, "Oh, you pretty little thing. Would I tell you to drug your own mom if I thought it was dangerous? This is me. This is your love." Now, remember, she's 14.
Right.
And he's, I don't even know, old enough to be illegal nowadays.
Right.
old enough to run for office.
And sometimes win.
Yeah, and sometimes win, and still do illegal, gross things. But yeah, so then time jumps again, and Faust is with Mephistopheles, and Mephistopheles is kind of impressed that Gretchen figured him out. You know, I was like, oh, okay, she has my number. That's great. And of course, he's also teasing Faust, and I keep saying tease, but really he's just like being a good devil by pointing out the obvious, right? He's like, so yeah, you're gonna poison this girl's mom so you can get with her, huh? And Faust is like, you monster! Don't even talk about such monstrous things, you monster! Like you're such a monster. This is my favorite human-devil interaction. Mephisto's just like, hey, you're kind of a piece of garbage and you should feel ashamed. And Faust is like, oh, no, spare me your devilish trickery. The devil's always twisting words. You're the father of lies, the author of evil, right? This is just so great, like from a story perspective. But like it's also just like so true, right? Like truly bad people see evil all around them, but never in them, you know? Again, I'm thinking of Frollo, right? Like the whole, like all of Paris is bewitched and, you know, is the devil's property, but he is, you know, like Paris's only hope, right?
Yeah, but Faust here, Mephisto's calling him out on this stuff. Like, you're terrible. You're being terrible, right? Like, admit that you're being terrible. But that's part of what Mephistopheles' whole idea is, like, admit that you're being terrible. Or I'm testing you for God's sakes, etc. And Faust is like, well, that may be so.
I don't know if you meant to do that.
I did not.
No. Was like, okay, go on.
Go on. I'll give you all the time. I'll back up here. Right. No, but he's like, you're terrible. You're awful. Admit it. And Faust's whole response is like, yeah, but you live in hell. Like you have hooves and stuff. Like you're much worse than I am. Like I've been going out doing all this stuff, but you just are bad.
Yeah. You are
because of who you are.
Yeah, look at you. Look at how you're dressed.
You're right. Little red footy pajamas.
Right, and I imagine that's exactly what he's wearing. He's right. Like, and so we cut it. You know, it's like a medium shot of Faust, and he like indicates. He's like, look at you, and then we just cut to like an establishing shot, and Mephisto's dressed like John Lovitz, and he just looks down and he's like, fair point. Right.
Yeah, so I'm kind of joking about how weak Faust's responses are, but you know, Faust doesn't see himself as bad, even though he's doing bad things.
Right.
He sees Mephisto as bad. Mephisto hasn't done a bad thing in like months, right? Or
but he's just like evil. He like from Faust's perspective, he's evil incarnate.
Right.
So
what was the last thing that Mephistopheles has done in this play that's bad, as opposed to what Faust is doing?
Yeah, but like Faust, like anything, like according to Faust, anything Mephisto does is evil. So like I ate a Dorito. It's like that's like you ate it in the most evil way because you're Mephistopheles.
Yeah, you called me to ask if we needed more Doritos, and you bothered me. That's bad. You came home without calling me to see if we needed more Doritos. That's bad. Right. Everything you do is bad.
And this is Cool Ranch.
I thought you were going to get me the goddamn Chipotle.
It's pronounced Chipotle. That's why you haven't gotten with Gretchen yet. You're not cultured enough.
That's so dumb.
I'm over here showing you the kingdoms of the world.
Right.
You can't even say Chipotle? Sheesh. Some scholar. Yeah, all those years studying Latin is useless.
That's right.
But no, like Faust is kind of like agreeing with those scholars I was talking about before, where it's like all of these like summaries of this story are like, you know, watch out, you know, never do a deal with the devil because this will happen. And so they're like, I imagine like if Faust was a real person, he'd be like, yeah, you know, look at what he did to me. He made me poison this girl's mother. It's like, no, he didn't.
Right. We didn't see that a potion that Mephistopheles gave to her. Like this scene is not Mephistopheles over Faust's shoulder and then Faust over Gretchen's shoulder. It just Faust
like all the
over
pictures seem to like to depict. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, like if anything, Mephisto's crime is showing up late to every scene. after Faust has already done a terrible thing.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so next we get a scene with Gretchen again. Some more time has jumped, and now Gretchen is at this well. It's like the local, well, I guess it is the water cooler.
That's right.
It's like the spot for all the hot goss.
Right.
Right. All the tea. And Gretchen is talking with her friend Lisbeth, one translation says, but another one also says Lieschen. And again, that Chen, right? Like Lisbeth and Lieschen, like I guess Lieschen is short for Lisbeth or Elizabeth, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like little Liz, basically, right?
So, yeah, she might be this play's version of like Rafe, or
exactly,
right. But luckily, she's only in the scene, I believe.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And she's telling Gretchen about this other girl they know, Barbara, and how she used to be like such a goody two shoes, but she's gotten pregnant out of wedlock, and what a scandal that is, and now the man has run away, leaving her high and dry, and you kind of like see/hear Gretchen like, oh wow, that's terrible, and she wonders if the guy will maybe return, and they'll end up living happily ever after, and you realize she is not talking about Barbara.
Right.
But Lieschen gets like mean here. She's like, even if he does, we're gonna crash the wedding, and the boys are gonna tear her wreath off her head, and the girls are gonna throw straw at her. So it's like the whole town is gonna like shame this this poor girl.
Yeah, that's just what we do. It's not like, it doesn't sound like what's her name, Little Lizzie is making this up and like, hey, I have a good idea. It's like, that's just what happens. That's what I've been taught, that this is what we do.
Yeah, like folks, listeners, she's not like a mean girl. She's like a regular girl in this regular town back then. It's like, I'm remembering, what was it? Much Ado About Nothing, when like they kind of like set up this sham that hero, the heroine was unfaithful, and like her own father is like, you should just die.
Right.
And it's like I cannot wrap my head around that. Like this girl is taken advantage of, and the whole town is like, oh, what day is it today? Oh yeah, we got at 2 we got this this late lunch, and then we're gonna go like publicly shame this girl who got assaulted.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then watch an execution with their picnic stuff.
Right. And in this one, it's this girl, right? She's a slut. She had sex outside of marriage, etc. And then even if she does the thing that we're going to force her to do, which is to marry this boy, whether she loves him or not, because of this rumor, like nobody saw her having sex with this guy, right? Because of this rumor, like even if she tries to do what we tell her to do, we're going to make sure that her wedding is the worst day of her life. Right.
So if she like makes good on the standards that we have set,
right,
then we're still gonna like embarrass her on her like most special fucking day ever.
Right. You know how we do.
Yeah.
And then Gretchen's like, yeah, that's what we do. I've been to a couple of those already, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. And it was like, I think I said it before in this show. It's like the value of human life and also like human empathy. Like there's just like this spike like a little bit later, but like right now, like, yeah, this is a fun thing we do. Like, and then let's go watch executions and hangings and, and witch burnings and whatever,
I mean, so this kind of thing still, I mean, in some cultures, this kind of thing does still happen.
Yes,
but
still
in our culture, right, like it's not that far removed. So my grandmother, was dating my biological grandfather, and she got pregnant. With my father. So this would have been in the late 50s, like 56 or 57, right? And they sent her away. Her parents sent her away for having, my getting pregnant out of wedlock. That's my father's generation, right? It's not something that's so far. Obviously, they didn't get like tarred and feathered or that kind of thing, but she didn't get to marry my my biological grandfather, even though they wanted to, because her parents were so mad at her for it. Yeah. My last name would have been Rose. I would have been Keenan Rose.
Oh, wow.
I like that.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, hey, Diaz is good too.
Yeah. People mispronounce it all the time. But Rose, very easy to read.
I mean, like they would just mispronounce that one too.
Rose. Mr. Professor Rose. But actually, I probably wouldn't have been Keenan, right? Because you name your kids while thinking about the full name, right? So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Keenan Diaz, right? Might not have been Keenan Rose. Maybe Scott
Rose.
Scott Rose.
That sounds like an updated James Bond.
yeah, that's me.
Like Rose, Scott Rose.
My whole life would have been different if I was Scott Rose, or if I was Dick Rose.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
In the morning, Dick rose.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. It doesn't matter what the rest of that sentence is.
That's it, right? Yeah. And then in some, secret bunker, you got the hostages tied up, and it's like, nobody will be able to help you. Except, oh no! It's Jack Reacher, James Bond, and Dick Rose. All the three of them together. My security is shit.
I appreciate your ethnically ambiguous accent.
Yes.
That won't get us in trouble with any particular
I am
ethnic
from
group.
everywhere.
I am from somewhere else. I very much appreciate that.
Yes. I'm from... Oh, shit! This would be a perfect time to say the name of the country again. East... Oh, fuck.
East.
I am from East Stanley. No. I am from West Stanley.
Well, I'm pretty convinced he's not from East Stanley.
No.
So better not look for him there.
Yeah, I really hope that was the name that we made up before. This is not in the script, and we can't stop and listen to it again.
Nope.
Yeah, so...
So anyways, fuck little Lizzie, but kind of, but really it's not her, it's the whole society.
Right, it's fuck all of Elizabethan society. Well, except for the Shakespeare stuff.
Yeah, fuck all y'all.
Yeah. Just fuck this town. Because we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna, is he the next one? Is Valentino next?
Yeah, he's pretty,
He's coming up, yeah.
2 scenes from now.
Yeah, but we're gonna meet her brother, and fuck that guy too. So
yeah, fuck him in advance.
Yeah, fuck him in advance. Is how that goes. But yeah, okay. So we're back with Leishan or Elizabeth. She leaves, and just cackling all the way, and
right,
this is like literal Disney villain over here.
Right.
And Gretchen is now alone, and we discover. I mean, if we haven't figured it out already, that not only is she now pregnant, but Faust has also flown the coop again. Right? And she reflects on how she used to be like Leishan and gossip and laugh with all the other girls, but now she understands a little bit better how these things can happen to anyone. Right, and she insists that it was all for love. Right, she got swept up in Faust and all his lies, and now she's a little wiser. I guess a lot wiser. She's been kind of forced to grow up. Real fast,
right?
And kind of the opposite of Faust, who has regressed, both physically and figuratively, because he's acting like a child, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the timeline. Maybe this has been over a year then. So maybe it does start on Easter, and then we go all the way through to the next year. Because that makes more sense that they've been seeing each other and there's this long seduction,
right?
Because if she, ladies who are listening, okay, listen to your 2 dude friends try to figure this out. If she met him on Easter and they spent at least 3 days flirting and not getting together, and then they did get together, she knows she's pregnant because she has to have missed a period.
Right.
So I don't think that's enough time if it's Walpurgisnacht at the end of this month. Or maybe Goethe doesn't know what he's talking about.
How things work, yeah.
Right. I mean, for 14...
Let's just say that. Let's just say the smartest German, writer...
Well, I mean, for a 14-year-old girl to miss one period, she probably, I don't know the average back then, but she might have only just started having her period in the past year or
right.
so, right? To miss one period would not be enough for most people to be like, okay, I am pregnant.
Suspicious, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe 2 periods, but anyways. But she's a 14-year-old girl in the 1500s being written by a dude. Yeah. From the 1500s.
All of that into context, yeah.
Right. So maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. In a society that, I guess he understands that this kind of shaming that, Elizabeth is doing is wrong.
Sure.
I think Goethe knows that, right?
Right.
Because that's why he's writing it, but...
but does he know where babies come from?
Right. Yes. Wait. Hang on. he said once, knowing is not enough. Knowing, we must apply. Willing is not enough. We must. Now, actually, I'm not going to read that associated with this. That's gross.
Okay, I don't know any Goethe quotes.
Dang, everything sounds like sex now, and I'm trying to like say it's like we have nothing to fear but fear itself.
Mm-hmm.
Ew. If I love you, what business is it of yours?
That's the romantic ideal, baby.
That's gross.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, know myself. If I knew myself, I'd run away. I like that.
That sounds like Groucho Marx.
Yeah. Yeah, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe and his brothers Harpo, Chico, and Zeppo. Right? I bid the chords sweet music, mate, and all must follow in my wake. There is nothing more frightful than ignorance in action.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing shows a man's character more than what he laughs at. Oh, that's a good one, actually.
I like that.
There is nothing... Ooh, I like this. There is nothing worse than aggressive stupidity. I think he's talking about our show. Yeah, acting... Okay, Faust is acting like a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then in the next scene, Gretchen is at this shrine of the Virgin Mary. Specifically, it's the Mater Dolorosa, or Our Lady of Sorrows, or the Sorrowing Mother of Christ. I keep forgetting that like statues of Jesus and Mary are like you have like different versions of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Sacred Heart, or the Grieving Mary, or the Happy Mary, or whatever, right?
Oh, that's interesting. Also, like with the Reformation being, I don't know, like 3 generations ahead, like do they just get rid of all the Virgin Mary statues? Like, no, obviously not. They're still around, right? So yeah, they're going to move away from like the veneration of the Virgin Mary in Protestant Germany, but they're still around now.
Yep. But yeah, so she's praying to this specific version of Mary, and this is important because Gretchen is now also a mother, and she is in despair for herself, despair for her child. Right? She's pleading with this version of Mary to ask her to see her and to help her, like from one mother to another. Right? And I don't know the details. I'm a really bad Catholic. I should know this, but I think Mary and Joseph were married already, but it hadn't been consummated. So when Joseph discovers that Mary is pregnant, like it's for sure not his. And back then, that would have been like a huge deal. Like they would both have been like in danger, right? So we're talking about like blame falling on the girl for being taken advantage of.
Right.
Earlier we're talking about like Gretchen and Lieschen's friend Barbara, right? And it like. The point I'm trying to make is like it goes all the way back, even to biblical times, where like I don't think we realize, like when we read the nativity story, how big a deal that is that she is pregnant not with Joseph's child.
Right.
And it's not just like it's a scandal. It's like people could die.
That's really interesting. Yeah, because we already know the end of the story, so we know it's the miracle. Like like she is pregnant with God's baby, and she has not consummated the marriage yet with her husband. Hooray! That's wonderful, right?
Yeah.
Like that is the beginning of the saving of all humankind. But you're right. So when we take it going forward, we should take it as like, oh gosh, that's a really big deal. That's terrible.
Yeah. If not for the angel coming down and saying, whoa, wait, be not afraid. This is what's happening.
Right.
Right. And that's why the angel had to come. It's like this is your official sign that everything is like on the level. Right. Yeah. But like the point I'm trying to make is that I'm, again, knowing nothing about, these ancient cultures, I'm assuming that if the angel hadn't come down and intervened, Mary would get punished more than Joseph.
Yeah, I think so. Right.
Even though like, it comes out that like she was taken advantage of or something like that, right? Like she would be the one at fault.
She might get stoned to death, right? Even 30 years later, her son is breaking up stonings of women who have had adultery.
Right. Or have had adultery done to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything either. So I'm just on a Wikipedia, as I often am. This is the chronology of Mary, Mother of Jesus. So it is her early years, the presentation of Mary, the Annunciation, which is where she is impregnated, then the visitation where she goes and meets her cousin Elizabeth and tells them all about it, and then the marriage.
Wait, her cousin Elizabeth?
Her cousin Elizabeth.
Is that because we got Elizabeth right here in this scene?
Yeah, she's not pregnant in ours, but yeah. Elizabeth is John the Baptist's mother. I was not aware of that. So Jesus and... Hold on. So Jesus and John the Baptist are cousins?
I've heard this. Yes, I think that's true. Yeah.
I had not heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, in this timeline on Wikipedia, so you take that. I'm telling you my terrible quick source. So yeah, it is that she is impregnated and is aware of it and sharing the news before the marriage to Joseph is what this says here.
Huh, okay.
Which I believe is like the marriage ceremony, like the whole, like the wedding.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. The point is, like, we're trying to say, like, we never think about how big of a deal it is. Like when we tell the Christmas story. It's like something, it could have gone like really, really bad.
Right. But but here in our story, Gretchen is praying to a particular version of the Virgin Mary you're saying, which makes a lot of sense. And this is what the Mater Dolorosa.
Yeah, or Our Lady of Sorrows. So the sorrowing mother of Christ.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, it kind of made me think of Esmeralda again, right? Because right after. Is it after Hellfire? Frollo's doing his Hellfire thing. And then she has that song, God Help the Outcasts, right? And she's talking about, like, it's like, hey, I identify with you because, like, you were an outcast too, right? Talking about, like, they had to flee, their homeland because Herod wanted to kill Jesus.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. So then we get this super intense scene with Gretchen's brother, Valentine or Valentine or, whatever. He's a soldier, and he is just standing in the street in front of Gretchen's house. Would it be his house too, or do they live?
Yeah, it should be. Well, at some point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has mentioned before to Faust as they're getting to know each other that she had an older brother who's a soldier, and I got the feeling that he is like, because he's a soldier, he's not there all the time.
Right.
And then she's also mentioned that she had a younger sister who died, and then Faust is like, she sounds real innocent.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the because he's thinking about all this, and it's like, oh man, her sadness at losing her, like, younger sister makes her so hot to me.
Yes,
like,
yes, it is.
And she's so tragic.
She was younger and purer than even you, and now you have to be young and pure like her after she's dead.
Yeah. Now you're and she's like yes, and after my baby sister, passed away, it's like I've become the baby of the family, and he's like, go on.
So we've got a warning that the brother exists, but I think it's like he's not here all the time. He comes back on the version of Leave, whatever that would be like in the 1500s, right?
Yeah. And in the radio play, it kind of opens with him like reflecting on how he used to brag. It's like me and the boys, we used to be in the bar just talking about like this girl and that girl and and how beautiful, but also how like faithful and no, what's a better word? Pure they are.
Right.
Which like as in like not like sleeping around.
Yeah.
And
like my kid sister is so chaste.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's the word, chaste. Yeah. And all the boys would like raise a glass to her. It's like, yeah, to Gretchen. Right. She's like the most like non-sexed female.
Right. She's the most unfuckable girl in town.
Well, no,
Valentin's
like she's
sister.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think
no, it is. Right.
I think it's much. It's like she's the most fuckable that hasn't been fucked yet.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Which is so disgusting. It's like that's like seeing that's like seeing like a 10-year-old girl. It's like you're really hot. Like in 10 years, I'm gonna marry you.
Right.
Like who would say that? That's disgusting.
That's disgusting. If she weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Yeah, that's gross. So they never say like what their political affiliation is. I wonder. They're just always just being so coy about it. Anyway, but yeah, so now he's standing outside of the house and he's having this moment where he's thinking about like how his sister, like used to be, the talk of the town,
right?
But like, like in a good way, like
right.
as in she's not the talk of the town.
Right.
And he used to be so proud of her, and she was this perfect little angel that everyone like looked up to. But now he's like hearing all these rumors about how his innocent baby sister is not so innocent anymore.
Not so
right?
innocent.
But it's like, so Valentine, like, this is none of your fucking business. Like,
I think there's a little bit of where it kind of is his business in this world, where the father is dead and he's like the father of the family now. Like,
he's got to like,
but
take
yeah,
care
it's
of
not.
her.
It's not. It's not as right. I mean, I agree with you. It's not your father's business if you.
Right.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. But like, I think like he's like, is he? So has he discovered that like she's pregnant out of wedlock, or is he just upset that she has a boyfriend?
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows that she's pregnant.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is like,
Right.
it's even worse because like he's just upset that she's dating.
Right.
But yeah. So what's he doing? He's literally like lurking outside her door, like waiting to catch whoever's been like messing with his sister. And wouldn't you know it, here comes Faust and Mephisto walking up this dark street.
Right.
And so Valentine, he slides back into the shadows. Very nice, very Shakespeare. Right? this boy, like if we had a nickel for every time a character hides somewhere.
Right.
In a Shakespeare or a Marlowe or whatever. Yeah.
Let me slink into the shadows, and hopefully this adversary of mine will say out loud what has happened.
Yeah, let me slink into these very well-lit shadows upstage so that, nobody can see my reactions to whatever is going on. So we got our two boys. They show up under Gretchen's window, and Mephisto, because he's Mephisto, he starts singing this like messed up song, like making fun of how miserable Gretchen is.
Yeah.
And Faust, remember, like he was all like I'm a waterfall of passion. Like, so that's where we are now, right? Like he's gonna come crashing down on this house, and he's even asking Mephisto to like grab some more like jewels because hell forbid he shows up empty-handed to manipulate this girl again. Right?
So a couple things about Mephistopheles here. He does have a paragraph where he compares himself to a tomcat in the dark up on the rooftops by the fire escape, like Mr. Mephistopheles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there we go. Is that where
T.S. Eliot probably read this? He probably read Faust, right?
Yeah. He just came up with Mephistopheles like just randomly, like
he threw some Scrabble tiles on the floor, and and then the other thing this is my favorite stage direction so far in brackets here. Mephistopheles, he sings to a guitar. Now, what I believe that means is that that's the stage direction of someone off stage is playing guitar and Mephistopheles is singing to it, but then it turns out that Valentine can attack this guitar. So I guess Mephistopheles is playing the guitar?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, and I think it's a lute. Or is a lute and a guitar like
they're in the same family?
Yeah. So were we thinking like like we were just talking about in our other show, like wallet and purse and fanny pack,
fanny pack, right?
Yeah. So guitar, sure, right?
Sure, but I do like the idea that he's singing this song like. You sit here, guitar. Put your feet up. Let me tell you a tale.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right. The guitars, they got that hourglass shape. They're just
very pluckable.
They're
gilps.
That took me a little bit. Yeah.
It's perfect. Don't explain it.
No, I won't. But no, okay. So Valentine jumps out and he smashes Mephisto's guitar, right? Which it's like fair. It wasn't. And he's like, "No, my love." Right. And then he's like, "Let's go, Waterboy." Why did I write Waterboy? Oh, Waterfall, right?
Yeah. I got it. I got what you were saying.
You got it before I did. I was like. I wrote this like 24 hours ago. I was like, let's go Waterboy.
What? Waterboy.
Oh, yeah, because he's a waterfall, yeah.
He's not the water boy.
Right. And they both whip out their swords, but Mephisto helps Faust cheat in the fight, and Valentine ends up getting mortally wounded.
So Faust, again, it's not like Mephistopheles is like, watching Faust be like, hey, let's be bigger men. Let me step back here. And Mephistopheles steps forward and is like, no, you should kill him. It's Faust going like, oh, I'm losing this fight. Mephistopheles, help me kill this guy.
Right.
And then that's the bad magic that Mephistopheles uses. Like Faust specifically calls out for it here.
Right. Like I was like, okay, like I'm your genie, so I'm just gonna help you out. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And he I do like Valentine is like it's like I'm fighting the very devil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he gets stabbed, and like the whole neighborhood like wakes up because like this is a sword fight. And
like in middle school, sword fight, and everyone comes running into the cafeteria.
Right. And the superintendent, and the principal, he was just sitting down to like his one and only hour free period,
right.
And he was like, "Motherfucker!" Right? And he gets up, and it's like, if it's those two again,
if it's Waterboy and the other guy,
Waterboy and Guitar Lover. But yeah, and yeah, so they get out of there, and I like what Toby Jones says. He's like, even I can't get away with murder. That's against the law.
I love that line.
Yeah. And then, yeah, like this is where it gets really heartbreaking. Like Gretchen comes running out and finds out that the guy bleeding out in the street is her brother. She tries to comfort him, but Valentine, like, he has saved his last breath, his dying breath, to be an asshole. He insults her, calls her a whore.
Right.
Yeah, and curses her like with his dying breath. Right. Thanks, bro. Like, Keenan, all the men in this story.
All of them. Right, all of them.
Are we, is the audience supposed to be, like, not on his side, on Valentine's side, but, like, understanding his anger? Like, are they supposed to be like, oh, that's so tragic. He's doing the brotherly thing by cursing her and calling her a whore, but he doesn't know that the devil is involved. Is that what?
Maybe. I think we're supposed to know. I think you're supposed to see where he's coming from, that he's been so betrayed by her, he feels, and at least like have that articulated out to her, right, so that she feels that guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if we're supposed to sympathize. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because like we know it's the devil,
right?
And the audience back then knows that Faust and Mephistopheles have been like puppeting this girl's life at this point. So are they like, oh no, Valentine, like what you're doing is would actually be appropriate if magic wasn't involved. Like we'd be totally okay in giving you a thumbs up.
Right? Yeah, I guess so.
And so what I'm saying, folks, is like even without the devil, this is not an appropriate like way to respond.
You're talking about the men in here. I had forgot that Martha does show back up, and Martha comes out here briefly as part of the crowd, and she's like, "Where is everybody?" But then one of the things she says when she goes to comfort Gretchen after she sees, oh, this is Gretchen's brother, and this is happening. She says, "Commend your soul to God in death. Would you blaspheme with your last breath?" Like, this is how you're spending your dying death, is like making your sister feel bad, and like,
okay,
like beyond just making your sister feel bad, but like literally cursing her, and like why aren't you thinking about yourself and like getting right with God and all the things you're supposed to do? You'd rather die in anger and spend your last moment exit cursing rather than exit smiling.
Right. Okay. So I like, all right, then I'm gonna say, because she's supposed to be like the voice of reason. She's the nurse. She's
so.
like,
right.
Like, so I think Goethe wants us to be with her.
That makes sense. That she's our stand-in. That makes a lot of sense. Right.
Okay. So we're not like cheering this guy on as he's like
right.
cursing his sister. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. But yeah. So we're back with Gretchen, and oh boy, this scene is rough. She is at the cathedral. Because where do you go when your life has completely fallen apart, right? And you need some divine forgiveness. This is the the Hunchback scene where she's in the church, right? This is the sanctuary thing, right? But even though this place is packed with people, like she might as well be like totally alone, right? Except for this evil spirit. That's what the text says. That is just like hovering around her and like taunting her as she's like trying to like pray. She's talking to herself, but she's also praying to God. In the radio play, it's Toby Jones's voice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if because the text says evil spirit. It doesn't say Mephistopheles.
Right.
Why Goethe just have it be Mephistopheles?
Yeah,
like
that
he's,
just makes
he's
the most
the
sense
puppeteer.
to me. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But yeah, apparently it's like this evil spirit. And it's just like whispering in her ear, like, taunting her, kind of like, how Mephistopheles was teasing Faust, right?
Sure.
It's like, hey, you're who are you going to turn to? Like, what are you going to do now, right? You have nowhere, like, God's not going to forgive you for this, right? Yeah. Do you feel it? Do you feel like the fires, like getting closer? Do you feel like everything closing in around you?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and just like mocking her. And you can hear, and that's when I was like, oh, Toby Jones is Dobby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's doing this like in the radio play. He's like, oh, woe is you, whoa, and I'm like, oh, it's like Mr. Harry Potter cannot go back to home. I was like, yeah, okay, yes, now I get it, right? And I heard Dobby's voice, right? And yeah, there's a visual, folks. Dobby as the devil.
That's great.
Yeah.
Just give him a sock and he'll go away.
Yeah, right.
That's why every September 25th we put socks out on the porch for the devil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You didn't know about that. Yeah.
Sockpurgisnacht, we call it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. Walpurgissacht, obviously.
Walpurgissacht. Yeah.
So I guess this is where we're supposed to find out that the mother has died from this potion, right? Because that hasn't come up previously. I don't think Valentine has said like, oh, I don't think he mentioned it.
Right. And that would have been like that. Like if you have one breath left, you're just like, she also killed her own mother, right?
Yeah. So that's interesting. So it was that time when Faust gave her the poison, right?
Right. Or is it like did it work the first time and then she they just started getting like fast and loose with it or something?
Yeah, I've read some because again, I know the movie version of it that F.W. Murnau does. And then I was reading, before I sat down to read this properly myself, I read like summaries and stuff, right, to familiarize myself. And they're like, okay, so she gets Valentine killed. That's like in the movie, and then she murders her mother with poison, and that's not what's happening here. No, that is Faust doing that, and she is other summaries are like she has done this to be closer to Faust. Like that's not what's happening.
No,
She's being told that this is a sleeping spell of some kind, and that she'll be fine. Right?
Yeah. And that's what I was talking about, guys. Like these like summaries, these like Cliff's Notes and these like grade savers and stuff like that. I'm just gonna like I don't know why I'm saying their actual names, but like no, they're giving you like it's so summarized that it's kind of wrong in some situations.
Right. Yeah, that is wrong. Yeah, she's realizing after the fact in this cathedral scene that she has gotten her brother killed and her mother killed.
Right.
And
she's blaming herself, even though she is not to blame.
She's not to blame, right? That's like, oh, that's weird that it like she becomes complicit. That doesn't work the same, and that's not what's happening at all, right?
No, she's been tricked.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're talking about like poor Faust who has been tricked. No, he's the one doing the tricking.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So Gretchen is just like she's in her own hell, right? We're talking about how she's in this cathedral, she's in this church, right? The radio play does, it's like got the choir, the Gregorian chant and everything like that, right? And it makes it sound really, really hellish, right? And the organ and everything. And that's kind of like how this scene ends. It just fades with, you got this hellish church music and Toby Jones just going, whoa, whoa. As if they're going down this well. But yeah.
Right. All right, great.
And we're going to end here on this note of terrible, horrible despair. And we're going to pick back up with a party because we're going to Walpurgisnacht. We're going to I guess it's Mount. What's the mountain? The German mountain. The Brocken. Yeah, yeah. So we're going to the Brocken. That's the. I think it's the highest point in Germany. Oh, okay. And that's where all the German witches go for their Walpurgisnacht.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
So Faust and Mephisto are going to be doing that. And I'm sure there's going to be like this montage because Faust is going to be like, but I have nothing to wear, and they're going to try on a whole bunch of things. They're going to go to the mall, and all that stuff, right?
And perhaps a sock for Mephistopheles. No, Dobby, no! Get back in there!
Bad Mephistopheles, bad Mephistopheles. So that's where we'll pick up, guys, with Walpurgisnacht. We talked a little bit about Walpurgisnacht in our Chernobog episode. So if you remember that, that's kind of where our boys are going now, which is really cool, right? Which is also weird because, like, Mephisto, aren't you supposed to be up there at the top, kind of like DJing? Like, what's going on? Like, who's up there right now? You know? Is that why Chernobog's here?
Well, we'll have to find out next time.
Yeah. But yeah, Keenan, what did we think of this one?
Yeah, I like this as it's, again, focusing more on Gretchen and seeing the ramifications of that, which we don't have in the Marlowe version whatsoever.
Right.
And then still, it's fun to have Mephistopheles come around. He's got some of the funniest lines in the play in this section here. So, yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I like it. We're, the Gretchen arc is coming to an end, which is really sad. We got it's weird. This Walpurgisnacht thing happens in the middle of it. This would be like the perfect thing to be like right after it, but it happens. It happens right before our like final confrontation with Gretchen. But yeah, so that's going to be in the next episode. I think we're going to finish the Gretchen arc in the next episode.
Yeah.
And that will be the end of Faust Part 1, and then we're going to get into some crazy stuff. With Mephistopheles and Faust. Yeah, as they I guess take a holiday and do some serious shark jumping, I think.
No, it's great. Come back.
Yeah. No, please. Yeah. But that's Faust Part 2, which it's like remember I was talking about like how I always get mad when they like mix the pantheons. This is we got some mixing going on here, and it's gonna be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, folks, this has been another episode of The Devil's Details. I've been Lester Ryan Clark. You can summon me on all the socials as Lester Ryan Clark.
And I've been Keenan Diaz. You can invoke me on Instagram and Letterboxd as Howdy Keenan.
Yeah. We've got our Facebook listener group, Banana for Scale. That's a community for all of our shows, including this one. It's a private group, but just request to join, and we'll let you in. If you want more, consider joining us at truestory.fm/join and look for Banana for Scale. That's us. You get bonus episodes of all our shows, access to our Discord, and you get your episodes a week early. Pretty cool. It's like you've been given a youth potion and you've gone back a week, right?
Right.
Or no, forward a week. I forget I said that.
Fall back, spring forward.
Yeah, spring forward, then fall into hell.
And we have bonus episodes for our show, like
yes.
on Chernobog from Fantasia and on The Devil's Advocate.
Yes. The Devil's Advocate is going to be coming up soon, and we already got our Chernobog episode for this show. So if you want like a Walpurgisnacht primer, listen to that, and we talk about that. And we're going to be doing Krampus for our December episode, our December bonus. Yeah. But yeah, wouldst thou love to live deliciously? We're not even asking for your souls. Just give us a 5 pentagram rating on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to our show. That and sharing the show by word of mouth or on social media helps our little podcast grow and find more cool people like you. All right, folks, until next week, love and hisses. Mwah! There's a picture of Google. I think it's Gustave Doré did a Mephistopheles or a Mephisto, and I'm just saying, right? Whatever type of leg day they have in hell, I need to get on that program.
Oh, geez, yes. He looks flexible as well. He's flying forward, but he's twisted around, looking backwards. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're looking at the same thing. And he's like, it's like, I thought, that's better than the than the goat legs. I'll just say.
Yeah, this Doré version of Mephistopheles looks like he is stuck in a washing machine.
What?
He's stuck in the washing machine and he's arched back.
And
he's looking back and he's like, help me, step Satans.
Well, now I have to include that in the show notes. Yeah, but it's like, oh no, yeah, because he did get stuck in the pentagram in the beginning. So he's like, yes, master, I'll do whatever you... Oh,
Right.
no.
Oh, no, Stepmaster.
Whatever shall I do? I didn't follow your instructions to the letter. Such a naughty devil. Oh, if only my what's a hellish word for butt? If only my 9 circles weren't so exposed right now.